Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Maulidya Yupika from Accounting Sector Public Class 201 with attendance number 15. At this moment, I want to explain my presentation about Voluntary Disclosure Program. Today, we will discuss 5 topics. First, definition of Voluntary Disclosure Program. Second, the background of the Voluntary Disclosure Program. Third, mechanism of Voluntary Disclosure Program. Fourth, requirement to follow voluntary disclosure program. Fifth, benefits of participating in a voluntary disclosure program. Okay, let's discuss the first topic. What is voluntary disclosure program? Voluntary disclosure program is a government policy that allows taxpayers to report or disclose tax obligations that have not been fulfilled voluntarily. Voluntary disclosure program can be done through the payment of income tax based on the disclosure of assets that are not or have not been fully reported by the participants of the tax amnesty program. An amount of income tax based on the disclosure of assets that have not been reported in the annual individual income tax return for fiscal year 2020. This voluntary disclosure program is implemented for 6 months, starting from 1 January 2022 to 30 June 2022, with the enactment of Undang-Undang Harmonisasi Peraturan Perpajakan. Next is about the background of the voluntary disclosure program. There are 3 reasons why this program should be held. First is the low compliance of taxpayers, as indicated by the low tax ratio in Indonesia. Second, large amount of foreign taxpayers' funds have not been reported before the forgiveness program. Third, the pandemic condition causes a decrease in the economic capacity of most taxpayers. So, unique program is needed to provide solution for taxpayers who want to comply but are constrained by condition due to the pandemic. We have discussed the voluntary disclosure program and the reasons behind this program. Next, we will discuss the mechanism for implementing this voluntary disclosure program. There are 2 policies, namely Policy 1 and Policy 2. For Policy 1, subject is participating in the tax amnesty are both individual and corporate taxpayers, while for Policy 2, subject is individual taxpayer. Then for the asset-based policy 1 is asset not reported or disclosed under the tax amnesty as of 31 December 2015. And for policy 2, the asset-based unreported asset from acquisition made between 2016 and 2020 in the 2020 yearly tax return. Next, the final income tax rate for policy 1. 11% for the declaration, 8% for both local and international assets that have been repatriated, 6% for domestic assets invested in SBN, downstream and renewable energy, and repatriated foreign assets. And for policy 2, 18% for the declaration, 14% for both local and international assets that have been repatriated, 12% for domestic assets invested in SBN, downstream and renewable energy, and repatriated foreign assets. To participate in this voluntary disclosure program, tax subjects must follow all the necessary requirements. These requirements differ depending on the policy implementation mechanism. For Policy 1, taxpayers may disclose net assets that have not been or are under tax in a statement letter as long as the Director General has not found data and or information regarding the said asset. The asset referred to are assets obtained by the taxpayer from 1 January 1985 to 31 December 2015. And then for Policy 2, the requirements are as follows. Individual taxpayers who disclose their net asset for the acquisition of assets from 1 January 2016 to 31 December 2020. may submit a notification letter for disclosure of asset by fulfilling the following requirements: have a taxpayer identification number, and then pay income tax, which is final on the disclosure of net assets, submitting annual income tax return for fiscal year 2020, and withdrawal application, refund of tax overpayment, reduction or elimination of administrative sanction, reduction or cancellation of an incorrect tax assessment letter, reduction or cancellation of the tax collection letter that is not correct, object rectification, appeal, lawsuit, and or judicial review. In the event that the taxpayer is submitting the application and a decision has not been issued. In addition to the requirements mentioned above, individual taxpayers who disclose net asset on the acquisition of asset from 1 January 2016 to 31 December 2020 must meet the following requirements: not being audited for fiscal year 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. No preliminary evidence is being examined for fiscal year 2016 until 2020. Is not being investigated for criminal acts in the field of taxation, not currently in the judicial process for criminal acts in the taxation sector, and are not currently serving a criminal sentence for a crime in the taxation sector. Voluntary disclosure program currently has benefits for tax subjects. The policy 1, participant can avoid the sanction of Chapter 18, Section 3, Undang-Undang Pengampunan Pajak. Meanwhile, tax subjects named taxpayers who have obtained a certificate for participating in voluntary disclosure program policy 2 will benefit from not issuing tax assessment on tax obligation for the fiscal year 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. That is all for me. Thank you so much for your attention. I want to apologize if there is a mistake. I hope you have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.